So now we're gonna roll this again. So now I'm just trying to make like a video and to showcase some of the audio. Yeah, I'm just using like Serum and trying to make some sound effects. Not this one, I think it's up here. Yeah, probably this one. Yes, this one, sure. I'm actually trying to like, not replicate, but like, what's it called? Being inspired by this artist called Excite with his track called Electric Nature. And I'm using it as a reference track. So every time I'm like, this is kind of like the typical formula for making psytrance music. So you can see down here, it says like around 8 minutes. So if I zoom in on this one, you can see the track is going like almost 8 minutes. It's going like 7 minutes and 53 seconds. So almost 8 minutes. And the track is like 146 BPM. So what I did here is I made like a couple of like a MIDI helpers, I call them. It's just empty MIDI files. There's nothing in them. It's just totally empty. And what I do is I'm cutting them off like in 64 beats. So you can also check it out if I do something like this. So every bar like this one is like it's like 4 beats, but I count them like 64 beats in one whole, like this, what you call it, like I could call it a brick. So I just call them like bricks, and I put like colors in them, and down here I have them like at 8. So you can see here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1. Yeah. So in this way I visually can like organize the music, and also as you can see in the original, you can see there is a drop here at the end of the track. So if I solo the track, I'm not gonna play the whole track because it's gonna be like copyright infringement and stuff like that. So, but my goal is to like find similar sounds like in the track, but just with Serum. And I'm not gonna recreate the sound because I'm not like a sound producer, a sound designer. I'm just gonna like go through like presets and stuff like I got from Splice. So I'm just gonna try that. So this one I already used here, up down here. And what I do every time I find like a sound I like, I will, like this one, I will duplicate the track, and then I will like right click on it and freeze the track. So I got it in audio, and then I will, yeah, you can see what I'm doing. So now the track is freezed, and now I'm gonna flatten it. And now I got like 2 audio files. So what I will do with those ones, I will shift and click both of them, and I will take the warp off, and then I will expand it a little bit and take this one, the end, to make sure that it's not like clipping the audio. And also in the beginning, a little bit of the beginning, I will, and you can see it's splitting up the files in 2 parts, and that this is what it's doing every time it's like freezing, because it's taking off the end of like the delay in the Serum effects chain. But what I will do is consolidate. This is what I'm doing with like all the sounds, because Serum is like really heavy on the CPU. So I already did it like down here. So I will like delete this one. But this is like the thing I'm doing all the time. So you can hear some of the sound I have here. And this is just audio files. So now we're just gonna go through some of them. Yes. And I think it's already armed here, this one. So this one is gonna be like, oh, come on. This one. Yes. So I'm gonna go into this one and see how far down we are. Oh, hell yeah. This is gonna be great. It's a little bit too long. Too long. Almost. Yeah, I just need to write to my girlfriend that I'm making YouTube videos so she's not calling me all the time. Even though this is a really dark sound, I can hear it has like a top shimmering on the high sound. So I'm gonna use this one. I'm coloring the track so I know which track I already like made for like the samples. And I know this is kind of like a long process, but this is what I'm doing for like making samples and making like suggestions to myself. So I will make some more and just going through some of these. You can hear this sound coming right at this place. I think it's up at the original. Right there. This wow. But I haven't made this kind of sound, so I need to look for it. So it's just taking time and time and time. So I just need to... So if you're also wondering what I did with the OBS for the settings and microphones and everything, I'm using this one. And I have the microphone, and on the microphone I'm using these filters. I'm using like noise suppression and slick EQ. And I'm just disabled all the stuff in here and set it on German EQ set. And I just low cut it. It's called high pass frequency. And compressor settings, 10 out of 1, minus 21 threshold, default attack, default release, and output gain 0. And then I put a gain on like 10 dB and a limiter, and that's it on minus 3. That's it. And also the I think the slick EQ. It's also output gain like plus 3 dB. So this is my settings. Yeah, and we also need our coffee. Oh, hey. If you think this all look like really weird and squeezed out and stuff like that in Ableton, it's because I wanted you to like see the stuff like big, and that's why I'm using this one on look and feel on 130% enhancement. So in the view, so I'm just making this kind of thing. Oh, it's really loud. Oh, it's because I'm using double here. So now we're gonna go out here. So it's also using this one. But now you should be able to see more. This should be fun. You can use shortcuts as like Control D for like duplicate a track. it was just a test for like making it reversed, but it didn't play out as well as I wanted. So when you're like freezing a track, it's gonna like lock and freeze all the things you have here. That's why it's the color blue. But when you like flatten it, it's gonna remove everything and only put the audio file on the timeline. So this is the same, but it's just a little bit longer with the MIDI file. So I'm just gonna cut off some of the end here, just make it like a little bit more clean. Like this, and some of the beginning. This is actually how you would like make sample files and sample packs and stuff like that, because it's a real hassle for like making samples and put them out in the right folder and organizing all the samples in different categories and stuff like that, and for like selling on Splice and stuff. But a really good program for like organizing files, especially if you want to like make them in different notes. For like making your own instrument samples, you can use Reaper. It will cut up really, really great, and you can also, I think it's called multi-batch or something with the naming of the files. So it's really gonna speed up the process, and there's a lot of like tutorials on YouTube for it. So just look it up on like Reaper, and Reaper is actually free, so you can use it for like I think it's unlimited evaluation version. So that's it. It sounds almost like an like it reminds me like of the movie Predator. Yeah, amazing. So, oh, Is it 2-time layered? So I think this one is the... Just gonna take this one off. Yeah, this is the kind of like laser, but this... I can live with that. It's amazing sound, so... it's gonna be a little bit longer for like the... Oh, it have to be like this, so it's gonna cut right there. So this one right there. Hope it's gonna work. It's just a little like, whoa. Probably gonna make it like higher on the audio. Come on. Yeah, it's not exactly the same kind of like mood. Yeah, it's coming a little bit late. I think you can do it like this. Yeah, it's not exactly the same, but it's doable for me, and I will probably put a link in the description below for all the samples I made in here, just for the sake of it, for all of you. So I need to make those white again, and make those white again. Come on. White. Oh, come on, freaking things. How? Yeah, like that. Yes, and turn them off. This one using this. Yes. This kind of sound would actually be really great for like an intro, making like an ambient and pad intro for like a psytrance music, by having like this like atmospheric sound in the beginning of a sound of a track. So I need to like, oh come on, yeah. That was weird. Oh yeah, probably because it's not like totally correct. It's because it's going through, it's syncing. You can see the beginning of the LFO. So if I'm doing it like here, it's gonna start over here. You can see it's starting like there. But if I'm using it right there on the right bar, if I'm doing it like this, it should be correct. Yeah, it's starting from the beginning, the LFO. And that's because I think the LFO is like, just wait. LFO anchor determines whether or not the LFO will always be synced the global song position in BPM mode. I think it's like syncing with the BPM of the DAW and where you position the MIDI because this is like starting from like the 94 bar. So if I'm like putting it here, it should be, yeah, it's still, it's not the, so what if I'm doing it like this? It's from the middle. Okay. So if I want it like, yeah. Yeah, that's good enough for me. Control D. Freeze. As I can see that the audio is gonna clip down here. So some of them are like too loud. It's probably this one. So I'm gonna like put it down a little bit. Yeah, it's got a really low audio, so I probably should like put it down a little bit. So just check it with like an EQ on your audio effects. Just check it and do this. Yeah. There's still some frequencies down here, like 100 hertz, and it's still gonna mess up some of the bass. So yeah. So we're gonna cut, and cut. So the ones I'm making green is like for me to like distinguish them, like I want to use those ones, and I can just put like an asterisk in the end of them for like indicating to myself like, oh, you should be using those ones. So I'm gonna stop the video now because I think it's like half an hour or stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be the end for this today. So remember to like rendering all your audio, and so you can save some CPU. Because imagine if I have like this serum and all of those channels down here were only serum, not audio, just serum. It's gonna ruin my CPU. So yeah, if you use a laptop, remember to like freeze track and it's called freeze track and it's called flatten. That's it, and then combine the two files and fade off the end and fade in the start. That's it. So